Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a deck tech on a PreCon from Dungeons & Dragons. Which of the four shall we do? Let's see. Maybe we'll do this one later. The Dungeons of Death. We got Draconic Rage. We got Aura of Courage. And we got Planar Portals. You know what? I'm kind of in a black-red mood, so let's pull this out and see what we got. So, let's see what we got for Planar Portal. My buddy Zach, he said that this one's pretty good, and that teching this one out might be fun. So, I have not reviewed these cards. We get to see what's what together. And as per usual, we're going to put these out, the commons, the uncommons, and the rares, and just figure out what's what with this thing, and take it from there. Alright, so we got the Prosper Tome-Bound Death Touch Mystic Arcanum. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. Okay. Pact Boon, whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. Alright, I can already think of a couple to throw in there, like extortionists and stuff. Alright, let's see what we got. So, obviously, we got the Commander. Then we got Karazikar the Eye Tyrant. 5-drop, whenever you attack a player, tap target creature that player controls and go to it. Okay. Whenever an opponent attacks another one of your opponents, you and the attacking player each draw a card and lose one life. Alright, that's in the maybe pile. Warlock class. This one is kind of weak for Commander. We're probably going to put that in the no. Let's see. So, Commander, maybe, no. And nothing's for sure, but just imagining where we're headed with this thing. It's got the Roll20, the D20 stuff going on with this. Chaos Channeler. Exile top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. That'll be a maybe. You find some prisoners. Destroy target artifact. Alright, that's alright. That'll be a maybe. Bucker's Evil Purse. Roll a D20 number of treasure tokens equal to the result the player to your right gains control. That's probably going to be a no. Ebony Fly. Enters tap. Boo for that. 4, roll a D6 until end of turn. You may have Ebony Fly become an XX insect creature where X is real. Maybe. Probably not, though. Roll D10. Target artifact creature, planeswalker, or owner's library just beneath. That's a maybe. So we have no for sure yeses, yes. Destroy target creature, suspend 5. Probably a no on that. Light up the stage, probably no. Loyal Apprentice, haste 2/1 lieutenant, create a 1/1 Thopter. Not too excited about that. Shiny Impetus, Channer gets 2/2 and goes, probably not. Throes of Chaos, Cascade is alright. Retrace. Oh, so pull it out. That's a maybe. 4-drop though. Ooh, Vandal Blast. We like a Vandal Blast. That'll be a yes. That'll be a yes. Yes. Cascade for 5. Deals 4 damage to target creature. And then you get to do... maybe on that. Rakdos Charm. Probably. Terminate. Destroy target creature. Can't be regenerated. Probably. Arcane for sure. For sure. Yes. Commander Sphere. Maybe. Fellwar Stone, maybe. Mind Stone, maybe. Just depend. These are budgetary ones. So if you're on a budget, these are yeses. These 3. So, Orazka Relic. Ascend! If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing. Sacrifice it, gain 3 life, and draw a card. Activate only if you have city. No, we're going to say no on that. Signet, yep. Of course. Soul Ring, yes. Probably Talisman of Indulgence. Probably no on that. Bajuka Bob, most likely. Command Tower, absolutely. Mortuary Mire comes in the battle flat tapped. Battlefield, boo. Bounce the land back to its owner's control. No. Bag of Devouring. Bag of Devour. Sacrifice ability to roll a d10, return up to X cards from among cards with okay. That's a maybe on that one. Dance Macabar? Dance. You can dance if you want to. Do, 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 do. It's a 5-drop. Boop, 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 boop. I don't like that. It's a 5-drop. We'll give that a maybe. Death Tyrant, Menace, Negative Energy Cone. Whenever an attacking creature you control or a block creature opponent controls dies, 2/2 maybe. Whenever one or more creatures controlled deals damage to the player, create 2 tokens. That's a maybe. Hellish Rebuke. Until in turn, permits you opponent's control. Gain. When this player permitted to deal damage to the player who casts Hellish Rebuke, sacrifices permanent, you lose 2 life. Maybe. Lorcan Warlock Collector. Flying. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent graveyard from anywhere. My buddy Dana was actually playing this pre-con upgraded a couple days ago. You may pay life equal to its mana value if you do put it in. So we're going to say yes on that one. Fiendish Lash. +2/0 and has reach. When it deals damage equal to its power to target player or planeswalker. I kind of like that. That's probably. Roll 2 d12s and choose one result. Reckless Endeavor deals damage equal to that result to each creature. That's probably going to happen. Share the spoils! During each player's turn, that player may play a land or cast a spell. I'm going to give this a no to a maybe. A nobi. Wild Magic Sorcerer. First spell you cast from exile each turn has Cascade. That's kind of cool. Yes to a maybe. Fevered Suspicion. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among them. I kind of like that. Oh my god, that's an 8-drop? That goes into maybe. Hurl Through Hell for exile target creature until the end of next turn. You may cast that card. I kind of like that. Chittering Witch. Whenever Chittering Witch enters the battlefield, create a number of 1/1 rats. I don't think we're going to be doing rats, so... probably not. Consuming Vapors, target player sacrifices, you gain life equal to that creature. Rebound. I like that. Let's do Dead Man's Chest. Enchanted creature opponent controls. When enchanted creature dies, exile cards equal to its power from the top of its owner's library. You may cast spells from among them. I kind of like that. A yes to a maybe. Fiend of the Shadows. The Shadow knows. Whenever Fiend of the Shadow deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles a card from their hand. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. That sounds pretty good to me. Dauthi, Lord of Luxury. Oh, we know what that is, and we're leaving it. Hex! Destroy 6 target creatures. I mean, it sounds great on paper, but I don't think that's going to make the cut. Marionette Master, that will probably make the cut. That's a great one. It is a 6-drop, though. Whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to the Marionette's Master's power. That is a solid maybe to a possibly yes. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may create a 1/1 black rat. Rats you control. So, again, I don't know if we're going to be doing rats, but it looks like they want to have a little bit of rat going on. So we're going to put these in the maybe for now. Depends how we take this. Oh, Pontiff of Blight. Love this card. Loveth this card. Played in other stuff. Extort. Other creatures you control have extort. Alright. It's a solid card. I'm probably going to play that. Apex of Power for way too much mana. Exile the top 7 cards of your library until end of turn. You may cast spells from among them. If this spell was cast from your hand, add 10 mana. Holy shnikes, that's a ridiculous card. We're going to give that a big old maybe. Chaos Warp, yes. This is probably the coolest card in here. Chaos Warp, yes. Commune with Lava. Exile the top X cards of your library until the end of next turn. You may play those cards. I'm not sure about that one. It just depends what kind of build we make. Dark Dweller Oracle. Sacrifice creature. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that. Nah. Oh, Direfleet Daredevil. I love this card. Alright, when Direfleet Daredevil enters the battlefield, exile target instant sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. You may cast it. Yes, we like that one. Disrupt Decorum. Goad all creatures you don't control. Probably no. Dream Pillager. 7-drop. Yuck. 7? Combat damage to play. Exile that many cards from top of end until end of turn. You may cast. 7-drop though. Ugh. Gross. Oh, Atali Prime Storm. I love this card. We're probably going to play that one. Ignite the Future. Exile top 3 cards of your library until end of turn. Next turn, you may play those cards. No to maybe. Is it Chemister? Nope, probably not. Tectonic Giant, great card, but there's going to be more powerful stuff that we sub in. Bedevil, that's a pretty good one. That's probably in the gonna make it pile. Theater of Horrors. Theater of Horrors. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library during your turn. If an opponent lost his turn, but blah, 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 blah. We're probably going to play that. Chaos one. I'm going to guess against this one. Is the rest land? Target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant restore. You may cast that. That could be super funny. Let's give that a maybe. Exile Orchard, probably. Does this one come in tapped? We might play that one. No. No, probably. Maybe with that one. Probably not that one. Swamp. Swampy. Oh, there's more in here. Okay. Yeah, now they have this Prosper, the weird thick card for your commander. I don't think I like these, but I think they're going to keep doing these. And then I think the rest are tokens. Tokens. How to play Magic. All right, let's see what we come up with. Boom. Shalakalaka. Peace out. Here we go. Okay, MTG friends here. We're going to continue this video. We've checked out what the PreCon cards are in their physical realm, and now let's jump in and talk about what we did with the 99 and what we swapped out and swapped in and synergized with. So, Prosper Tome-Bound, as a review, it's Death Touch Mystic Arcanum. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library until the end of the next turn. You may play that card. And Pact Boon, which is why we're playing this thing. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. So we got lots of things that synergize with creating them dar tokens, including a couple alt-win scenarios, as well as just really ramping the crapola out of this shizzle. All right, Architect apparently is going to have us talk about ramp first. We got tutoring going on. A couple really janky, disgusting, hilarious combos in here. I believe deuce combos, duel, some removal, some draw, the land package. Lots of treasure stuff going on. We got a shenanigans card, Torment of Hailfire, which is just hilarious. We can lever with a bunch of tokens we've created. Last game I played with my play group, I tormented of Hailfire the group, and it was crazy. I did it 10, 20, 21 times and still didn't win the game. Logan, shout out to Logan in the play group. He actually pulled off a win in like the most janky way. Logan, if you're watching this episode, you must comment. We got some control, some alt-win, some exile. Yeah, buddy. All right, so let's jump in. We'll blast through the ramp real quick here. Real quick and all that. Yeah, Arcane Signet. Why wouldn't we play that? We got Birgi, God of Storytelling, one of the modal flip cards. Whenever you cast a spell, add red until the end of turn. You don't lose this mana. As the phase is in, creatures you control can boast twice during each of your turns rather than once. And the flip side of said card is we can discard a card, exile 2 cards, which we can play. And that just generates us some treasure tokens, y'all. Some treasure tokens. Boom. Shalakalaka. All right. Inspiring Statuary. This works really well with the tokens that we're creating. Non-artifact spells you cast have improvised. Your artifacts, which are your tokens, can help cast those by tapping them, and that counts as one colorless. This is a superb card in all of this. Oh, and in case I haven't said already, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Yep, it helps us. And like it if you like the video, if you are a subscriber or not. Comments are always welcome. All right, Jessica's Will for 3. You can choose one. Cost you nothing if you have your commander out. Add red for each card in target opponent's hand. That is pretty awesome. Notice it is plural opponents. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. So either way on this card, it's helping with our commander in play. Soul Ring, yep, we don't need to explain that one. Solemn Simulacrum, we also don't really need to explain this one, do we? Do we? Moving on. Talisman of Indulgence. And of course, if I ever blast past something and you're like, wait, why didn't you talk about that one? Comments, I'll answer it. I promise. Talisman, we got some mana fixing going on. Bedevil. Oh, we're already into removal. Wait, did we add the Signet? Did we add the Signet? We did not add the Signet. You know what? We will add that right now. Signet in our colors. Signet. Signet. Boom, 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 boom. Rakdos Signet. All right, we're doing it live, folks. Dropping that Signet in. Dropping it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Let's see. We got some Rampalicious Ramp. Add. Scooby Dooby. Oh, I bet you didn't know this was going to be a tutorial about how to use Architect. And you know what? As we're going through, we're going to decide which card to remove. Yeah, buddy. Normally, I'd edit all this stuff out and then just start over. But you know what? Why? Why should we do that? So anyways, we added the Signet in our commander's colors. All right, so now let's go into removal. Bedevil, destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. That's just a real solid card. Chaos Warp. We can take a target permanent, put it into their library, they top deck, and then if it's permanent, they get to play it. I'm on the fence about this one. It can be really useful for removal, but you're playing the lottery as what they flip over, which sometimes can be super duper bad. But it was actually in the pre-con, so we're going to leave it in. Damnation. I mean, yeah. Wrath of God in black. All right, Deadly Rollick. This is another one of those cool ones that if you have your commander out, costs you nothing. Exile target creature. Dreadbore. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Very nice removal. This one we might actually remove. But it's a good one. Choose a creature at random, then destroy the rest. This is great for when you got an opponent going wide. All right, Rakdos Charm. This was in the pre-con, so we left it in. Also another great one if you want to have somebody that's gone super board wide to take all of those creatures and do 1 damage to its controller. That's pretty swank, and exile all cards from target player's graveyard is pretty swank too. So you got some versatility there. Another one we could probably remove if we need to. All right, destroy target creature can't be regenerated. Terminate. Termination. Also in the pre-con. Toxic Deluge -X for all creatures where X is the life you spend. And it's 3-drop, which is really nice. Very, very good removal spell, especially for something that's indestructible. All right, Torment of Hailfire, like I was saying, this one is great if we have just like the whole game, just token, treasure tokens, and we're just sitting there in a stalemate, and we go, you know what? Let's shake things up a little bit. Torment in your face, bezizzles. That's right, biatches. Control. Deflecting Swat. Also, I just love these ones that can cost you nothing because you have a commander out. You may choose new targets for target spell or ability. Great redirect spell. I mean, boom, boom, shalaka-laka-laka. Imp's Mischief does the same kind of shenanigans. Change target of target spell with a single target. You lose life equal to that spell's converted mana cost. Yes, this isn't a life gain deck, but we only have a couple spells that are costing us life to lever. And Imp's Mischief is just like probably in my top 20 of all-time favorite cards. Cunning Rhetoric. This is the exile section. Whenever an opponent attacks you and or one or more planeswalker you control, exile the top card of that player's library. Exile Alicious. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were a mana being card. Blah dee blah dee blah.
I mean, yes, of course we're going to play this in a treasure token exiling kind of synergy deck. Dauthi Voidwalker. I am just a big fan of this card at Modern Horizons 2. I think that's its first printing. Yes, it is. It's got Shadow, which, I mean, that's just kind of like a hilarious bonus if it is useful to you. Creature can't be blocked by only by creatures with Shadow. I mean, that's pretty funny. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead with a void counter. Sacrifice Dauthi Voidwalker. Choose an exiled card an opponent owns with a void counter on it. You may play it this turn without paying its mana cost. I mean, not only are you removing things out of graveyards, which can be levered very well, especially for reanimation type decks, but then you get to play it and then you get a treasure token. I mean, it's just, yeah, yes, we'll definitely put that in there. Atali Primal Storm. This was also a reprint that is in the pre-con. Whenever Atali Primal Storm attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana cost. I mean, that's pretty awesomus maximus. And notice the way that it's written, that you can do this whether or not Atali is in play or not. That's pretty swank, folks. Eternal Scourge, 3-drop, 3/3 Eldrazi Horror. The horror. The horror. You may cast Eternal Scourge from exile. Do you know what movie was I referencing there for all those people who are over like 30 years old? When Eternal Scourge becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, exile Eternal Scourge. Boom, shalaka. That is twice I've said that. I mean, that one's a no-brainer for the exile mechanic. Gonti, Lord of Luxury, 4-drop, 2/3. This, also in the pre-con. I guess there's more pre-con cards in here than I realized. When it enters the battlefield, look top 4 cards of target opponent's library. Exile one of them face down. Then put the rest on the bottom of that library in a rando order. You may look at and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. Also awesome. Also doesn't require Gonti to be in play to do it. Yeah, moving on. Grenzo Havoc Razor. Havoc. Love any card in Magic that has the word Havoc in it. 2-drop, 2/2. All right, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, choose Uno Mas. Exile the top card of that player's library until end of turn. You may cast that card and you may spend mana as you choose. All right, or you can goad target. The goad part isn't all that important. It's the exile part that really matters in this deck. Hurl Through Hell. I mean, that's a really oddly named card. Hurl Through Hell. You mean like, no, we know it's not that kind. Exile target creature. Till the end of next turn, you may cast that card and you may spend mana as though I had any color. Yeah, we get it, folks. We get it. It's I mean, a 4-drop. I would have loved to see this as a 3-drop, but you know, whatevs. Oh, and that's actually from the pre-con. Okay. That's probably why it's like $1. All right, Lorcan Warlock Collector for 7. I do not like that it costs 7, but it is a 6/6 flyer in its vanilla. But then it does extra fun stuff. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may pay life equal to its mana value. If you do, put it onto the battlefield under your control. I mean, that's swankalicious, Rex. Put it onto the battlefield under control. It's a warlock in addition to its other types. If a warlock you control would die, exile it instead. Oh, cards do so many things now. They just do so many things. Oblivion Sower. I love me an Eldrazi. Any kind, any form, anywhere, yo. Eldrazi in the house. Woo, woo. All right, 6-drop, 5/8. Whenever you cast Oblivion Sower, target opponent exiles the top 4 of his library. Then you may put any number of land cards that player owns from exile onto the battlefield under your control. So, if you play a land, you get a treasure token. Boom. I likey a lot. Stolen Strategy. strategy. Enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of each opponent's library. Till end of turn, you may cast non-land cards from among them from those exiled cards. My tongue is getting ahead of myself. All right, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. I don't know why I'm whispering. Uba Mask 4. This one you may have not realized was even out there. It's an oldie but goodie and very specific to this build. If a player would draw a card, that player removes that card from the game face up instead. All right, who am I channeling right now? Star Trek. Each player may play cards he or she removed from the game with Uba Mask this turn. That helps us. Doesn't really do much for them. So, moving on. Valki, God of Lies. God of Lies. When Valki enters the battlefield, each opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a creature card they revealed this way until Valki leaves the battlefield. X, choose a creature card exiled with Valki with converted mana cost X. Valki becomes a copy of that card. And of course, we got the flip side, which is even more bueno. And this one does more exile shenanigans that just plays right into our fun had by all, or at least by us, the ones playing this deck. Okay, now we are on to some tutor action, yo. You know, I just love the other version so much more. Let's look at the other version. There we go. Some little devil dude at the library with a mountain behind of him that's exploding. I mean, that's pretty crazy artwork right there. All right, search your library for a card and you put it in your hand. Then you reshuffle your library. I mean, this is great. Puts it right in your hand. You don't even have to show them what it is. Diabolic Intent for 2. You sack a creature and you do the same shenanigans. Put it in your hand. Gamble. You tutor up a card, you put it in your hand, and then you discard one at random. Don't like the discard part, but I like that it's a 1-drop, and it's in red. Sorcery speed, mind you. Praetor's Grasp for 3. Search target opponent's library for a card and exile it face down. Then that player shuffles his or her library. You may look at and play that card for as long as it remains exiled. So we got a lot of exile mechanics going on in this build, specifically tailored for this very interesting and fun commander. I am putting a lot of pauses in this video for some reason. Profane Tutor. Suspend 2. I love that it has suspend. So for 2, you suspend it for 2 turns, and then you get to search your card for search your library for a card, put it in your hand, shuffle. All right, Tutor, go search, put it on top of your library, cost you 2 life. Magus of the Wheel. This one is sack 'em. Now, mind you, he'll have Summoning Sickness that first turn, so you know you got to keep it alive, and then you can. Each player discards their hand and then draws 7 cards. All right. You can draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. That's Night Whisper for 2. Phyrexian Arena. I put this in purposefully because Necropotence just doesn't feel right in this. Since Necropotence is 3 black, I didn't feel like it had a place in this particular deck. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose uno lifeo. All right, or read them bones. Scry 2, draw 2, lose 2. I like it. I like this card. All right, and then we got some treasure map action going on. You can scry for 1, put a landmark counter on treasure map. Then if there are 3 or more landmark counters on it, remove those counters, transform treasure map, and create 3 colorless treasure artifact tokens with sacrifice this artifact. Yes, the whole point of this deck. So you get the treasure tokens, you get to flip it, and then you get to do extra snazzy, fun things. And you know what? I can't remember what the flip side of this does. So on the fly, we're going to just look at it together. Oh yeah, you tap for colors, or you sack a treasure token and draw a card. So that's pretty great indeed. Now, I purposely didn't put Wheel of Fortune in here. Of course, you can absolutely run Wheel of Fortune if you got it. If you got it, run it. It's just a handful of $100 bills that you gotta pay to get it at the moment. All right, spend 4, pay 2. Each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. So you could easily swap this card out for Wheel of Fortune. Fortuna! Fortuna! Wheel of Misfortuna. Who keeps talking about tuna? Yeah, I don't know. Each player secretly chooses a number 0 or greater. Then all players reveal those numbers simultaneously and determine the highest and lowest numbers revealed this way. Wheel of Misfortune deals damage equal to the highest number to each player who chooses that number. So they get punished for being a Jacobite. Each player who didn't choose the lowest number discards their hand, then draws 7 cardos. There you go. There you go. All right, we got some treasure action going on. Academy Manufacturer. If you would create a clue, food, treasure token instead, create 1 of each. Boom. For each land you control, create a treasure token. Pretty straightforward. All right, Captain Lannery Storm for 3, 2, 2. Haste. Whenever Captain Lannery Storm attacks, create a colorless treasure artifact token with. I mean, we know what the treasure token does. Whenever you sacrifice treasure, it gets +1 until end of turn. Now, surprisingly, this thing's the only thing on the board, and you have a whole ton of treasure tokens and nobody can block you. This could be a game finisher for you. It could. I mean, I'm just saying. Curse of Opulence. It's a 1-drop, which is so fabulous. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a colorless artifact token named Gold. Yep. Each opponent attacks that player. Oh, each opponent attacking that player does the same. This is a swappable card for sure, but it does synergize with what we're doing. Dockside Extortionist. Love me this card. When it enters the battlefield, create X treasure tokens where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponent controls. Opponents as in plural. And I'm doing the pren. Yeah, you got it. You got it, folks. Gadrak? I think that's Gadrak. The Crowned Scourge. Scourge? 3-drop, 5/4 flyer. It can't attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. And if you don't have 4 or more artifacts going on in mid-game here, then something definitely wrong is going on. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. I mean, that is swankalicious. You do a board wipe, drop this thing before your end step, and then suddenly create a bunch of tokens. Yes, please. Put this with Damnation, and then that, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I like to say boom. Goldspan Dragon. As of this recording, this is smack dab in the middle of a lot of top-tiered standard decks because it is just so ridiculously powerful. Whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks, and it's got haste, which is crazy, or becomes the target of a spell, which is also crazy, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have. Tap, sacrifices artifact. Add 2 mana of any 1 color. So it doubles up on mana generation for treasure tokens. I mean, that is disgusting. That is cray-cray. Serious cray-cray in the house. All right, Grim Hireling. I think I got that right. 4-drop, 3/2. This was in the pre-con. It's a very okay card. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create 2 treasure tokens. That's why we kept it in there. And 1 black, sacrifice X treasures. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. And that's the second reason we still have this in there, because it gives us the versatility to get rid of something that is sticky or they're not attacking with, and it has utility to it. Megda Brazen Outlaw, also another way to generate treasure. Sacrifice 5 treasures, search your library for an artifact or dragon card, and we do have an Altwind Dragon in here, so we could use that second part, which normally wouldn't get used, then shuffle your library. Other dwarves you control get +1. That doesn't matter at all in this deck. And whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. Get this out early and just token it up. Token it up, yo. Whoa, man, we're tokening it up. That was so ridiculous. Pitiless Plunderer 4. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with, yep, you know what it does. You know what it does, yo. Regavan Nimble Pilfer. If you got it, run it. If you don't, I mean, yeah, you might not want to spend $100 on it. Or I think it's down to 70 at this point. All right, it's just super powerful because it's a 1-drop. And then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library until end of turn. You can cast that card. I mean, this plays right into this deck. I mean, holy shalamalos. What word did I just make up? -2. You can cast this spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste and you return it from the battlefield to your hand. I mean, everything about this card is screaming be in this deck. Xorn. I think I got that. 3-drop, 3/2. If you would create 1 or more treasure tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional treasure token. I mean, yeah, buddy. And this is out of the D&D set. Yes, it is. All right, our alt wins. Alt wins. Hellkite Tyrant. Speaking of dishing up a dragon from Magda, here we go. Flying Trample, 6/5. Whenever Hellkite Tyrant deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. So we can either do that from Steel and Shizzle or all of the treasure tokens we've been generating all game wins us the game. I mean, yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, another alt win that plays swimmingly into this deck. Revel in Riches, 5-drop. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10, that's it, just 10. 5 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You win. This is a game. All right, here is a super hilarious, and I do emphasize hilarious, combo for this deck. If you don't want to do this combo, that's fine. It's just, I really love this, and it's funny, and what a way to win a game. Blasphemous Act, which is, this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Act deals 13 damage to each creature. Then, we got Brash Taunter, boom! A great way for having a blocker that just keeps doing damage. It's indestructible 1/1. Whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. And for 3, Brash Taunter fights another target creature. And then this is the part that's super janky and super hilarious. Tree of Perdition. So the way this combo works is you got Tree of Perdition that does not have Summoning Sickness. Exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition. If you got Brash Taunter out, you go ahead and Blasphemous Act after you turn your opponent's life into 13. And then Brash Taunter does the remaining 13 damage to the opponent. That is hilarious. And if you pull it off, make sure you send me a comment because that is super funny. So even if you have another Rakdos deck and you're thinking, that would be a really fun thing to put in there. Doesn't have to be in this deck specifically. Let me know about it because that is jankalicious fun. All right, Animate Dead combo. That's right. Boom, boom, boom in the room. So we got Animate Dead, which grabs a creature. When Animate Dead enters the battlefield, if it's on the battlefield, it loses enchanted creature card in a graveyard and gains blah, 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 blah. There's so much text on this one. When it leaves the battlefield as an Animate Dead, the creature's controller sacrifices it. So keep that in your mind if you're not familiar with this combo. Then you either dish up Kroxa, or you dish up boom, 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 World Gorger Dragon. All right, you with me so far? So World Gorger Dragon, whenever World Gorger Dragon enters the battlefield, exile all other permanents you control. When World Gorger Dragon leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under their owner's control. So this one gets sacked. You then bring back Animate Dead, repeat. That's how you create your loop. And then if you just happen to have the bonus of having Mayhem Devil out there, then you can ping all of your opponents to death with that 1 damage to any target. You with me so far? And even if you don't have that one out, if you bring Kroxa out, you're doing 3 life to your opponent if they can't discard a card. Well, since it's going into infinite, eventually they're toast-delicious, toasty. And it's all about that combo of World Gorger and the Animate Dead shenanigans with hopefully Kroxa. So there you go, folks. If you need further explanation of that combo, put it in the comments. I think that explained it enough, but sometimes that's a janky enough one where if you need further explanation, I will certainly do it. Of course, I said all of that and I probably could have just done further explanation. Whatevs. All right, let's blast through the land real quick. Don't want to make this an hour and a half long. Agadeems, this one, if you're not familiar, it's the flip card where you can bring it in, pay 3 life, and then you have not a swamp, but a black mana source. Or you can use it in return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each has a different converted mana cost X or less. Super great for the end game where you got a lot of stuff going on in your graveyard. Ancient Tomb, tap it for 2, pay 2. We got the Blightstep, which is the Rakdos version. One side is red, one side is black. You choose which one. Choose your own pathway. That's right. Blood Crypt, we got Shockland in the house for our colors. Bloodstained Mire to go fetch up whatever we need in our colors. Command Tower, yep, any color of our commander identity. This one is if we have a swamp or mountain, it comes in untapped. Fabled Passage, crack it, go grab a basic we need. If you got 4, including itself, then it comes in untapped. Luxury Suite, if you got 2 or more opponents, then it comes in untapped. Love me some untapped lands, y'all. All right, we got 9 mountains. We got Prismatic Vista to go fetch up whatever we need in the basic land stuff. Shatter Skull Smashing. This is the modal one where we can do pay 3 and get a red mana source untapped. Or we can do X damage divided as you choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, then it does twice the damage. So if we, for instance, do 10, then it'll do double that. You got it? Clear as mud? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. All right, this is a pain land. Cost you 1 damage to do color. We got some 9 slams. Man, I really like that swamp. That is super cool looking. Super cooliosis. All right, Treasure Vault. This is brand new out of the D&D set. Very fitting since it's all about treasures. You can sack it for XX and create X treasure tokens. That's pretty swank. I like it. All right, Urborg. Each land is a swamp in addition to its other land types. Yep, including itself. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, we got Urza Saga, which is super broken. Super broken! But it's just super fun in this particular kind of setting. Urza Saga gains, tap, get colorless. For 2, Urza Saga gains, for 2, create a 0/0 colorless construct, whatever. And then for 3, search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0. So that could be all sorts of things. I mean, cost 0 or 1. Oh, 0 or 1. Yeah. So we could go grab a Soul Ring if we haven't played already. And we got a 2-for. A 2-for-1. All right. War Room. For 3, pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander. In this situation, draw a card. So for 2 life, you draw a card. That ain't bad. Ain't bad at all. And I purposely didn't put in the original Gangster dual land. Put it in there if you got it. If you don't, no reason to spend hundreds of dollars just for this deck. There we have it. Full circle and all that stuff. Prosper Tome-Bound. 4-drop, 1/4 Death Toucher with the Pack Boon and the Mystic Arcanum. All right. Boom. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. check out our other episodes, and if you have a commander that you would like to see, or something else for that matter that we haven't thought of, put it in the comments, and we'll do our best to do an episode about it. All right, thanks y'all, and thanks for being supporters. We really appreciate it. Awesomeness Maximi. Laters.